up? We're going to do a video on what your current situation is, how you are perceiving your current situation as being problematic, and how the situation is actually working out in your best interest. So we have pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. If you want to go ahead and pick your pile. All right, hello pile 1. If you picked the rider, this is your pile. So I already picked the what your situation is and how you perceive it as problematic. It's kind of interesting because to me, when I first look at this oracle card, it wouldn't be problematic. So for what your situation is, we've got the rider, movement, quick decisions, and progress. So you might be in a situation, and we're going to look further into this, but you might be in a situation where you are going through rapid growth. And how you see it as problematic, we've got migration, initiation, adventure, and freedom. Usually I end up being proven wrong when I pull the tarot cards, but I feel like it's possible that you are maybe clinging a little tightly onto whatever's going on. And this didn't want to come with me, so we're going to do this first. We've got 2 of Swords in reverse. You feel as though you're being, right now, the situation you're in is you feel as though you're being guided into a situation where there is no good decision. Sorry, my light just went out, so I had to fix it. But it feels like possibly you're in a situation right now where you feel like you are being pressured to make a decision and you feel as though there is no good decision. That feels like the current vibe. Actually, I want to just stop with this right now because that feels pretty much all it is. And I'm going to use the Astro dice to get a little more about this situation. Okay, we've, yeah, Uranus and Gemini in the 5th house. So the area of life could be having to do with creative projects, romance, that type of thing. But regardless, with Uranus and Gemini, again, it's really just reaffirming to me that the situation you're in right now feels as though you are being forced or like you feel pressured to make a quick decision, okay? And so why does this situation feel like it is problematic to you? What about this situation feels problematic to you? Let's get a little more on that. So you feel like there's no good decision right now. That's what I'm getting. Is you're having a difficult time. You feel rushed. You feel like it came out of left field and there's not really a good decision. 2 of Wands in reverse. Let me just move this out of the way. All right. Yeah, this is just affirming and validating to me that you don't feel like you're ready to make the move in whatever it is. Why else does it feel problematic? What's going on with pile 1? Oh my goodness, some weird stuff just happened. Let's see. Okay, well, this is the one that just flipped. The Hermit in reverse. Yeah, that's what I was totally getting. Because, see, and I'm interested to see with the 3rd card and the 3rd, like, how it's for your benefit. Because what I was getting, when I saw this card, migration, I was like, how could this possibly feel limiting in any way? Adventure, initiation, freedom. Because you're not ready. You may have been going through a significant period of time where, okay, and that's so interesting. That's so interesting. You're just not ready to make a decision. Whatever is going on in your life, you're not ready to make a decision. And you don't want to leave your comfort zone, but right now you're being kind of pushed out of your comfort zone. Is there anything else we can get about why? Because it's coming through pretty clearly. My ears are ringing. That almost always happens when I'm being yelled at. Okay. So we've got the 1 card in this deck that is not an actual tarot card, which is the Cosmic Coven. And you know, like, I was like, why are they all coming out in reverse? Is the deck upside down? It's not. The deck's not upside down. But it is interesting that the Wheel of Fortune was at the bottom, or the top, whichever way you look at it. So that's interesting. Yeah, you know what? I want to get, like, something on the nature of this situation. It feels like it wants me to not be specific because of the fact that it just keeps saying, you know, like, quick decision, unexpected decision. The only thing we've got really is like 5th house potentially, which has to do with creative forces. It's tied to Leo, so it can have to do with romantic, like fun romance stuff. It can have to do with fun, creativity, that type of thing. But like, what It feels like you're being pushed out of your comfort zone, out of your hermit zone, and you feel like you have to make a decision, and you feel like you're not ready to make a decision. That's what it feels like to me. Is there anything else? I'm gonna do this 3 more times just to see if there's anything else before we go. Why is it in your best interest? Anything else before we go into why it is in the best interest? Why it feels problematic. You know what? I'm getting a vibe to use this deck. Why it's in the best interest. Or no, right now we're doing why it feels problematic. I'm so sorry. Why does this quick decision that pile 1 has to make feel problematic? And we have, it's this one. The snake in reverse. This is not wanting me to be extremely specific with what the situation is. This is just really reinforcing that you feel like you're not ready to step into this. It feels like you're being guided to step into like maybe a new role or a new part of your life, a new era, a new something, and you just feel like you're not ready. It almost feels like you feel like it would be fake for you. Like it feels like it wouldn't be the real you because it just feels like you're not ready to step into whatever it is that you're stepping into. And now let's go ahead and go to, I love to do these like lengthy readings with several parts to them. I don't know why, because I don't have enough space for that, but here we are. Okay, so why is this actually working out in your best interest? Why is this actually working out in pile 1's best interest? And we got this one. We've got porcupine. All right, so just from the porcupine card, I'm thinking that you're a bit of a vessel and you're kind of being pushed into this time in your life because simply you're able to be, because simply you have, because this porcupine, it says, you know, ancestral wisdom. And then when I'm reading the book, it's like, upon further reflection, the energy of this card is famous for saying, as above, so below, as within, so without. And then it says, the answers are within you, the macrocosm versus the microcosm. There are many that subscribe to the idea that we are a piece of the universe manifested as human, divine piece of consciousness that is recognizing itself. And what I get is this, that like, plain and simple, you have a job to do. You have a job to do. You have a job to do that only you can do. So whatever the decision is that you are having to make, that you're being pushed into making and you're not ready to leave your comfort zone, you have a job to do. And like plain and simple, it's in your best interest because it's time for you to do it. Can we get a little more? Because this just feels like the universe is yelling at pile 1, which is not a feeling that I'm unfamiliar with. It's not something that doesn't happen. The universe yelling at you to do things, or your guides or your ancestors or whoever saying, get with it, get with the program, it's time to get a move on. That is something that can definitely happen. But I'm not really getting why it's in your best interest. Like, why is it in pile 1's best interest? Can you give them something to calm their mind a little bit, to like make them feel good about the fact that they're rushing into a decision? I love when the spirit always yells at me. 6 of Wands, because it's going to bring you success. It's going to bring you success in whatever area. And just for funsies, you... Oh my God, of course. Yeah. Just trust. Okay, just for funsies, because there's a lot in here about like decision making and not being ready to make decisions. Now, I already know it's going to tell me what it's going to tell me. I already know. This is a question that's already answered. The decision is to move forward or to stay in your comfort zone. But can I get a little bit about the moving forward? Like about what we're delving into? What are we moving into? What, okay. See, now that's interesting. We got the Hanged Man in reverse. And we've got 9 of Cups. All right, so this is in your best interest, and why it's going to help you, because you feel stuck. You don't feel like in a good place, really. It feels like you might be scared to move forward, or you're unsure of moving forward. But this is saying that, like, you already feel stuck. You already feel like you're not going where you need to be going. And when you make that choice, you will get the desired results, essentially. And the star speaks to just having faith a little bit. But it feels like you might have a job to do, and you might just feel like you're not ready. Some sort of job, like, and it doesn't have to be, something that's like literally a capitalist job. It can be just like something that you're called to do to service the collective in some way, in any way, really. But with this fifth house over here with the Astro Dice, I feel like it is going to be fun for you. You just feel like you're not quite ready. And what do we have here? The cliff. They're so not being specific with me, and I feel like it could be because there's different situations. It could also just be because that would kind of defeat the purpose. A lot of times when I'm trying to get really specific in a situation where I'm meant to have faith, and that, a lot of this is telling me, like, just have faith and take the step forward. Especially because what's hilarious about this card, and I hope that I get it right, I'm about to stand up to make sure that it gets in the camera, is that, like, this cat is just, like, casually about to jump off this cliff, and the cliff has, like, fire underneath of it. That's hilarious. And there's 2 swords. And there's a mermaid in the ocean. All right, so, like, I don't know. The whole vibe for me is that, like, so you're in a situation where you feel like you are being pressured to make a quick decision, and you don't like that because you don't feel like you're ready to make the decision. You don't feel like you're ready to make the decision at all. And they're also, I'm like, with all the 2s and with the 5th house and with the cosmic coven, it's possible that this decision could involve another individual. That's quite possible. Or it could not, but it feels like definitely with the 2s, it's a decision. And you don't feel like you're ready. You feel like you're being pressured into it. And you just don't feel like you're up to the challenge, and it's problematic for you. You feel like it's being rushed. But you feel like it's not you. But what they're saying, what the spirit homies are saying, is that just dive right in, have faith. You are the only one who can do whatever it is you're doing, or, like, you are meant to do it, or you are, like, it with a porcupine, like, you are meant to do the thing you're thinking about. Whatever the thing that you're thinking about, that I'm not allowed to know exactly what the thing is. Whatever the thing you're thinking about doing but you don't feel ready to do, you are ready. You are meant to do it. It is time. It's time to just dive right in. Have faith. Dive in. It will bring you success. It will bring you what you desire. Okay? And I feel as though that's all I'm allowed to know. Really. Because I just keep trying to get more specific, and it keeps giving me the same answers. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. Whatever you're thinking about that you're not sure of doing it, just do it, is what the spirit homies are saying. And I just thought about this. That could be why they don't want me to know, because I have a tendency to be very unfiltered and just say things. Okay, sometimes that's not real safe for me or for other people in the collective. Don't do anything that you feel like will put you in an unsafe position. But also, whatever it is you're thinking about, just do it. It'll be fine as long as it's safe. Okay, that's all I have for you. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello, pile 2. We're heavy on the snake themes tonight. You got a snake, I got a snake, we all got a snake. All right, so this situation that you're in, we got serpent. I only pulled for the first 2 questions, which is the situation that you're in and why it feels problematic to you, okay? So for the situation that you're in, you got rebirth, unconventionality, non-conformity. And then for why it feels problematic, this is the same thing with pile 1. The card I pulled feels like it doesn't make sense. Why you feel like it's problematic, inner strength, clarity, presence. However, and the card is warrior. However, the first thing I thought of when I pulled this pair is, when you're doing heavy shadow worky stuff, or you're going through heavy, painful transformations, consciously or unconsciously, because the thing with transformation is when spirit feels you're ready to go through a transformation, you're going to go through a transformation, whether you're consciously doing that or not. So you could be consciously doing inner work, and that's going to take you through transformation. And I've noticed that people who are not willing to consciously do inner work, guess what? The spirit homies love them just as much, and the spirit homies have several means of making things happen for them, and they for sure will put you through transformation if they have to via external circumstances. So your circumstances could be internal or external, okay? It could feel like the world around you is falling apart, whether you're doing it intentionally or whether it's just because the spirit homies are trying to force you into the right direction. But it feels like with this warrior card, there's a possibility that the reason you find it problematic is because you just don't think you deserve it. You just don't think you can handle it. You just don't think you're strong enough. And I say that, you know, the spirit homies tend to know what we can handle. I'm not going to say anybody or anything is perfect. There's obviously going to be some mishaps along the way. But for the most part, they know what you can handle. So let's get a little more on the situation you're in if we can. Why did this come out again, but this time in the upright? The situation you're in. Two of Wands. You know what? I was just going to do one tarot card and an Astro Dice, but with this Two of Wands, I really feel like I want to get a second one. So you're doing transformation. The situation you're in, you're going through a transformation. And you're at a point where it's time for you to start using your noggin about it. Let's just do this. Okay, so with this, the immediate first thing I got is that it's possible that the situation you're in is the second thing that I said, which is that the transformation. I'm feeling like this is not true for everyone, but it might be true for some people. That the second thing that I said, which is that you're going through transformation via the spirit homies adjusting the world around you, which is the thing that happens. And you might be taking it as some sort of attack. That's what I'm getting when I'm looking at the moon. And the Two of Wands here would tell me it's time for you to start putting some intentionality into this transformation because it is for your best interest. But let's go ahead and do some Astro Dice just to see if we can get more about the situation. And the first thing that wants to pop out is the 4th house. But you know what? We're just going to do this again because that fell on the floor. So we'll see what happens. Okay, and of course we have Daddy Saturn, as always. 10th house. And Libra. Oh wait, no, this is Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter look so similar. Let me find Saturn. Yeah, that's Jupiter. Interesting. So, based off the 10th house, it's possible that the area of life that this could be in could have to do with your reputation or your career. You're expanding your career potentially with Jupiter. All right. I want to get like one more on the situation that you're in. Intuitively though, when I look at these cards, I go, you're going through a transformation, especially when I then look at this. You feel cursed by the universe. You feel like something's out to get you. Is what I'm like, the intuitive hits I'm getting is like you feel like something might be out to get you. If that doesn't resonate, then maybe this isn't for you because it feels very strong to me. Can I get one more about this situation? Yeah, you feel like you are in a situation that you're undeserving of what's going on, that the universe is out to get you, or something's out to get you. Why is this happening to you? But really, the situation that you're in, I feel like I just answered the second card with these cards, but really the situation that you're in is assisting you through some sort of transformation, and then they hit you with this one. Man, I tell you, when I get this card, it means, bitch, you better straighten up, okay? You got two choices. Which one are you going to choose? So why do they feel as though this situation is problematic? No, this doesn't fucking make any sense. 4 of Wands. Why is this situation problematic? Why is this situation problematic? Okay, the intuitive hit I'm getting from this 4 of Wands is that you're resistant. You're resistant to the natural darkness that permeates everything. Okay, that is part of the forces of nature. That is part of spirit. That is part of, it doesn't matter what belief system you have, you can find it in everything. You can even find it in a lot of the world's favorite book, the good old Bible, okay? Where God says, I am the dark, the light, and everything else. You can find it within everything. The dark and the light are within everything else. And it feels like you find it problematic. Everything that's going on around you, you feel like it's problematic. Because you essentially don't believe that it's out for your best interest with this star here. You don't believe that whatever's happening to you is for your best interest, is to help you in the long run, is to make you stronger, is to help you grow, okay? And now let's get a little bit about why whatever's this transformation that's going on actually is in your best interest. Why is it in your best interest? Pile 2. Why is this situation in your best interest? So it's possible that there's a lot of things happening around you that you're like, why me, why me, why me? But they're actually meant to make you stronger. And that's what you need to remember, is that there's always, like, I don't want to say always, bad things happen to people who don't deserve it, okay? So there's not always a lesson. But in this case, I'm strongly getting that there are lessons. And one thing I've learned about lessons is that they're not always that you are a POS. Sometimes the lessons are not about you taking accountability. Sometimes the lessons are about you, like, it's always accountability, but sometimes it's not like, oh, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing that wrong, I'm mean, like, sometimes it's literally like, you need to have more boundaries for yourself. Like, sometimes the lesson is that you need to stick up for yourself. Sometimes the lesson is that, like, you need to, get, like, you need to get louder. But sometimes the lesson is that you need to, consider others more. You never know until you start doing the self-reflecting. So all this is really asking is for you to start doing the self-reflecting required to understand what, in order for you to understand what the lesson is, like how you can take matters into your own hands, essentially. It's not to force you into submission. It's always to get you back into your own power. Yeah, this card is about getting in touch with grief. And so I feel strongly that you are avoiding difficult, uncomfortable emotions that are necessary. Oh, and I'm looking at this a slightly different way now. It's possible that you don't want to feel weak. You don't want to feel weak. You want to feel strong. You don't want to feel vulnerable. You don't want to feel what's going on right now. But you're going through some shit. Hey, where did this come from? The Hanged Man. In reverse. A little bit more about why it's in their best interest. You're avoiding necessary purging and emotions that are ultimately going to, like, once you purge, once you release like heavy emotions, it does make you feel a lot lighter. And a lot, like, it makes you feel lighter and like you have more space for things that are, okay. So this is saying you're going to feel more in control. Because I think there is an element of you wanting to feel in control, you wanting to feel strong, you wanting to feel like you're in control, but like this coming out with this frog with like in the Hanged Man in reverse, in your best interest, you allowing yourself to experience these difficult emotions in this difficult time is actually going to make you feel more in control, stronger, lighter, better. Okay. And let me go from this guy because I love this guy. It's just so, like, the artwork on this one is so very pretty. It's new to me too, and it has literally as many cards, almost as many cards as a tarot deck, but it's an oracle deck. Okay. The Clover in reverse. All right, so when this clover comes upright, it's talking about good things finding you. And when it's in the reverse, like, you not even having to try good things finding you. And when it's in the reverse, having like a scarcity mindset, feeling like you have bad luck, feeling insecure, but it's with the intention that, or like feeling like, oh, why is this happening to me? But it's with the intention that, like, you're feeling like you're having bad luck, but you're actually not. So I'm really truly getting that the reason that this situation is in your best interest is to get you to come to terms with whatever it is you're avoiding, whatever it is that's making you feel like you're in a bad place, making you feel like, why me, why me, why me? And stop trying to be strong, stop trying to mask, stop trying to pretend like whatever's happening isn't happening, because it is happening, okay? And literally just allow yourself to sit with your feelings, your emotions, self-reflect, and this will make you feel more in control. It will make you feel more lucky. It will make you feel like good things are happening to you. And I'm just gonna like shuffle one more time to see if there's anything else that wants to be said. Is there anything else that wants to be said? Two, 4, 6 in reverse. 6 of Pentacles in reverse. It feels like this might be a little bit of a correction from Spirit. I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? It feels like you're getting sat down, which I have experienced that. It does suck, but it feels like you very well might be getting sat down. And what I intuitively want to advise, like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you who you are or what's going on in your life, okay? Although what I intuitively get is that it's possible that you're running from your problems, and you might be, how do I say this? It's like, because this card talks about, like, in reverse, it talks about, you know, giving and receiving being out of balance. So it's possible that there's, like, a situation where you're running from yourself so hard that, like, you are in turn, and you don't want to deal with, you don't want to seem weak, you don't want to feel vulnerable, you don't want to deal with your emotions, that you are in turn then creating an imbalance and giving and receiving. And I'll just let you take that however you want to take it. But the advice that I would give based off of this is that it'll start looking into inner child work and you know, reparenting yourself, doing inner child work. The way that I do inner child work, I don't really know a lot about how other people do things because I'm very resistant to rules. So I always look into things a little bit and then I make my own stuff up, just intuitively. But the way that I do it, in combination with my training to be a hypnotherapist, is meditatively. And I literally go in there in my imagination and I set up a space for my inner child and I talk to my inner child and I just go with the freaking flow, man. And it's not going to be perfect, because if you weren't parented right, you're sure as hell going to have a hard time parenting your inner child right, but you'll get there eventually. So the advice that I would give you is to, like, begin self-reflecting in a way where you allow yourself to truly question yourself and the world around you without being like you can be like, I don't approve of my choices, but, like, try not to shame yourself. And if you shame yourself, don't shame yourself for shaming yourself. It's a paradox. And just like start looking into inner child work and all that kind of stuff, because it feels like what you need to do is you really need to focus on your emotional needs right now. And it feels like you're not doing that, and it might be becoming other people's problems, or it might not. It might also just be your problem. I don't know. I'm not you. But it feels like you might need to start looking into, you know, reparenting yourself, inner child work, sitting with your emotions, dealing with your emotions, and not pushing it off on the world around you. That's what it feels like to me. And if you do this, the positive news, if you do this, is that, like, you will feel more in control. You will feel relief. You will purge. You will feel healed. You will feel renewed if you actually do this. You just have to allow yourself to do it and know that every single person goes through it. Some people refuse, and here's the thing about that. The longer you refuse, like, it doesn't go away. It's never going to go away. You're never going to escape it. It will follow you into other lifetimes if you believe in that sort of thing, okay? So, like, eventually you do have to just sit with it. And remember, like, this is the thing I always tell myself, because I'm a prideful mofo, okay? The thing that I always tell myself when I'm going through these things, because they seem to follow me throughout my life, is that, like, everybody, regardless of how they want to mask, every single person deals with issues and deals with, like, ego and deals with pride and deals with uncomfortable emotions and deals with vulnerability and deals with embarrassment and deals with pain and deals with literally everything. We all deal with it, and a lot of us want to pretend we don't. We want to pretend we live in a perfect world, but we don't, okay? So if you just tell yourself that and you allow yourself to go through these things, I think you'll feel a lot better. Okay, I hope that was helpful. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much. So, pile 3, this is your reading about what is the current situation, how do you view it as problematic, and how is it actually out for your best interest, okay? So we have pile 1, or I mean, not pile 1, We have for what is the situation? We have visionary, confidence, passion, self-worth. So right out the gate, the spirit homies are like, calm down. We're doing this for your best interest. Confidence, passion, self-worth. This is the situation. Okay. Why does it feel problematic? The key, inner calling, clarity, intention. Okay. And I'm thinking that it's possible that like what I get like, and oftentimes what I think initially, like when I do a reading with like 3 different sections to it, and I just pull the oracle cards first because it's like a lot of oracle cards, so I just like pull the oracle cards and set it down. Like the first thing that I got when I looked at this, and I could be proven wrong, is that like you are being like, you have something creative that wants to be shared, and in order for that to happen fully, there has to be some reworking and some details to look into. And that's the part that you might not like. You might not like a little bit of the discipline aspect of it, but let's get further into the situation really quick. Let's look a little bit further into this situation. Let's look just a little bit further into the situation happening. What's the situation happening? If it comes back, it's mine. Okay. Okay. We got Knight of Cups in sideways. Okay. Let's get a little Astro Dice to see a little more about the situation. I do not use these Astro Dice to say like anything about your signs. I just use it based off of like the astrological archetypes that I am educated on. They always fall on the floor. I don't have big enough space. 8th house, my guy. Moon in Virgo in the 8th house. All right. So we're dealing with a little bit of transformation energy. And let me just, yeah, in Virgo too. Okay, because this is Virgo that I was getting. Like the energy that I was talking about from here, that is Virgo energy. Okay. Yeah. Give me something clear cut, dry, and juicy about the situation. I said dry and juicy. Dry things can be juicy. Okay, so this is interesting. You got the graveyard, which gives me very much 8th house vibes. And then, like, the temple falls on the floor. Okay. And what's interesting is that I noticed the Fool in the cards that fell on the floor. And something in me was like, but I didn't. So, to me, it feels like it's possible that right now you are undergoing some sort of, like, I just feel so crazy saying this because, like, everything for me is just transformation, transformation, transformation. It feels like my entire fucking world revolves around transformation, but at the same time, the only constant is change, so it's very applicable. So I'm gonna try to make this a little more specific and say that what it feels like is that you are undergoing transformation that has to do with more of a, like, creative, emotional, intuitive, with this visionary, confidence, passion, self-worth. Yeah, so it feels as though a part of you is going through a transformation where you're stepping into a more creative and intuitive part of yourself that might not feel familiar. But just to be sure, I want to get a little more on this key, on why it feels problematic to you, because to me this doesn't feel like, none of this feels super problematic to me, but why does it feel problematic to you? Why does it feel problematic to you? Pile 3. Why does this feel problematic? Nyx has to be a part of this. You can't, because you're gonna ruin the angle. It's probably already ruined. It's not, but this is too far over. Why does this feel problematic? Why is this situation problematic? You're beautiful, Nyx. Oh God, here we fucking go. I can't tell you no, because you're beautiful. Why does this feel problematic? Why does it feel problematic? Okay, it feels problematic because, first of all, you don't feel like you're done with the last part of your life, and second of all, you're overthinking it. But you know what? Like, I would really prefer to get a little bit more specific about the situation that's going on. I love how I get yelled at. Like, I didn't even finish my question, and it flew out. 6 of Cups. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the situation you're going through. One more about the situation you're going through. Tell me what's dying. Yeah. Yeah, so it's possible that what you're going through right now has to do with, whenever you purge something, it becomes extremely, extremely, like, loud and in your face. It becomes loud and in your face. So, it's possible, I think what's going on here is that you are getting rid of, the overly analytical, neurotic, judgmental part of yourself and tapping more into the intuitive, creative, emotional part of yourself. However, when you're purging something, it always happens that that thing really becomes very loud and annoying. Okay, so I think that's what's happening for you right now, is that, like, the part of you that is overly analytical about yourself and possibly about others, but it'll probably be more so about yourself, and judgmental and neurotic and anxious is becoming very loud and annoying for you, okay? So essentially, the situation is you're growing confidence, self-worth, creativity, intuition, etc., but you are in the process of growing that, the parts of you that are extremely harsh and overly logical and analytical and judgmental are dying off. Therefore they're crying for help, kind of. They're like in your face. So then why is it in your best interest? And we've got the Crab in reverse. It's in your best interest because right now I think that your perceived judgment is ruling your life, and you're really allowing people to walk all over you. Maybe not walk all over you, but you're making your decisions based off of, or you're like a lot of who you are as a person is impeded because of what you feel you owe others, or what you feel others will perceive of you, how you feel you're expected to be. Like, a lot of you is being stifled, a lot of you is being held back because of that. So it's in your best interest because this card is about boundaries, and then in the reverse, you know, you may lack some. So I'm thinking, let me see. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, look at that. Thickums, bright, beautiful, and out in the open. That's what we want you to be. We want you to be bright, beautiful, and out in the open, okay? We don't want you to be hiding away because you're worried about what people might think, or you're worried about what that might mean for you. Like, we want you to be you. We want you to be tapped in. We want you to be confident. That's where we're headed. That's what's going on here. Is you're purging that part of you. That part of you, I don't want to say dying, because like there's probably gonna be a little bit of it always there, but for the most part, it's like it's going bye-bye. It's going bye-bye. So that you can, oh my God, of course we did. Of course we did. It's in your best interest. It's like, because this is this. These are the same card, essentially. Why is it in your best interest? The situation is in your best interest. You're because of the fact that you need to get back to you. You need to get back to this, okay? You need to get back to, yeah, you're becoming fierce, dude. You're becoming self-expressive and fierce and confident, okay? So that's why you're going through all this crap right now, because of the fact that it's turning you in, like, essentially. And there's another thing that could be happening. I just thought about this is sometimes when you're working through issues and when you're purging stuff, like, it'll get to the point where it pushes you into a point where you have no other choice but to change. Like, you can't take it anymore, okay? So this is forcing you to become confident, to become, shine brightly, be who you are, not be worried about what other people think of you. Can we get anything else about why this is in their best interest? The bunny. Wow, look at this. Look at this. This is a beautiful pair, honestly. Sunny, bright colors, really. Two. I was reading this book because this deck is new to me. And it's so funny because we've got the Sun, Queen of Wands, and then in the book it literally says, you have the potential within your heart to expand as bright as a star. Okay, so essentially what it is that you're going through, just to summarize, the situation is that you are developing your confidence, passion, self-worth, and you find this to be problematic. It is because, like, over here in this situation, it's like a major part of the you that you have always known is dying off. It's being purged, okay? And that part of you, the reason that it's problematic, because the part of you is the part of you that is like analytical and like harsh and judgmental and all this other stuff. Whether it be on yourself, I would assume usually people who are judgmental towards others are extremely judgmental to themselves. So I would assume that it's a little bit of both, okay? So you're purging that part of you. And the reason it feels problematic is because of the fact that, like, you're purging it. It's painful. It is so painful. And you also are coming to terms with this, like, as somebody who has a lot of this deeply ingrained within me as well, there's a part of you that struggles, that goes like, but I need this. If I am not judging myself, who will hold me accountable? Like, who will keep me in check? I have to be the one overanalyzing and criticizing myself, because otherwise who will hold me accountable, right? Okay? But so that's why you think it's problematic. But the situation is you're purging that part of yourself and you're coming into your confidence. Why is it in your best interest? And then it just gives me this answer, because you're learning your potential. You're coming into your confidence. You're coming into clarity. You're coming into self-worth, all this other stuff. And with the crab as well, like, that makes it so that, like, because a lot of judgment, and the way that I see this connecting is that, like, a lot of judgment to me, a lot of judging yourself and judging others, it connects so heavily with boundaries. Because to me, the feeling of being judgmental, because I am judgmental by nature, is like, why am I judgmental of myself and others? Like, it's because I'm worried about the expectations of others, right? I'm worried about, like, the perceptions of others. So what does that also do? It goes back to boundaries. Like, it's very clear. To me, the connection is super clear. So it's like, why is it in your best interest when I put these things together with the boundaries and with the clarity and with the confidence and with the potential? To me, it says, like, it gives me vibes of, like, freedom. Like, being free from being weighted down by your own mind, essentially. And just being, it's like, when, like, if you are somebody who is like this, then you probably have very few people that you feel comfortable enough to have an open conversation with, where you're like, you're not afraid of what they think. You're not afraid of offending them. You're not afraid of them misunderstanding you. You're not afraid of them getting angry. You're not afraid of anything. You are not afraid. Like, you are completely masked off with this person, okay? And it's probably very few and far between. Well, this is, to me, saying, Like, why is this purging period in your best interest? It's in your best interest because your entire life can be that way. Your entire life can be that person that you're not afraid to be mask off with. That's where you're headed. That's what you're working towards. So I hope that made sense, and I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching this. That is all I have for you. Thanks. Bye.